Think back to last night. What did you do before you went to sleep? It wasn't anything productive or anything like too special, right? Most likely you were on your phone and you were just sitting there scrolling, trying to wait until you actually feel like going to sleep. Now, I understand the feeling of just trying to kill some time and get ready for bed. We've all been there, but scrolling is not the thing you should be doing before you go to bed. It is probably the worst thing you can do before you go to bed, because here's why. If we go on our phones, and because our phones emit blue light, if you don't know what blue light is, it basically forces your brain into like this kind of awake mode, or just makes you unable to sleep. It makes your brain really stimulated, and that's what it does. And you're on your phone looking at social media and all those things. You might be trying to make excuses at night saying, oh, it's not too bad, a couple of minutes won't hurt me, right? But it really does. Those few minutes, they do hurt you a lot. And if you've been having shitty sleep, well, you can already see the effects. Shitty sleep is probably one of the bigger effects that it has, but it's not the only one. That's why scrolling before you go to bed, it's not good. But what is good before you go to bed is reading. I think we've all fallen into the trap of our brain just telling us, oh, it's not so bad. We can scroll for a few minutes. We can check up on a few things on our phone. And then what that eventually leads us to is an hour of scrolling, an hour or 2 hours of scrolling. And that 2 hours of scrolling pushes our sleep schedule back 2 hours. And then we wake up in the morning feeling tired because of those less hours of sleep. And then feeling tired ends up translating into a really bad day. We're not productive. We can't get any work done at school or at our job, and it's just not a fun experience overall. But to help remove that issue from your life, reading is what's gonna help you. More scrolling is not gonna do that. I might seem like your mom pushing reading so much, but if you look back to when you were a tiny little kid, right? Maybe you were like 7 or 8 and your mom or dad was still all over you about screen time and shit like that. If you were to look back at how you slept as a kid, you probably slept really well. You slept like a damn brick, like as soon as you hit the pillow. But think back to now. Your sleep is probably pretty bad, and you'd fall asleep pretty slowly. And when you're a kid, you fall asleep really fast, and you fall asleep, or you sleep just really well. Now, if you compare the two and the habits you do at night between them, you'll start to notice that not touching your phone honestly helps you, and touching your phone doesn't. Because I mentioned this before, the blue light that your phone emits, it's not good for you. It makes your brain too active and you just can't fall asleep. If you now know the benefits of reading, you might think, oh yeah, reading is a good thing, maybe I'll try it. But to be able to truly read and be consistent with this new habit that you might want to introduce to your life, you need to set yourself up for success. Because now it's really hard to focus on things other than just a screen or something really flashy, something stimulating to your brain. It's really hard to focus on just a piece of paper with some words on it. So that's why you have to set up an environment for reading. You can't just go into your room with all your devices around you and expect to be able to read for a good 30-40 minutes. Because with all of those devices around you, you're gonna be far too distracted and far too fidgety to just go grab your phone and start scrolling again. Because chances are, you will choose the phone over the book. Because the phone just is that much more fun, just that much more stimulating. But if you were to remove those things from your environment before you sleep, so maybe like throw your phone in a different room, let it charge for the night, and you just read in your room on your bed, and there's nothing around you that can really distract you, well, you're gonna be much more successful. If you don't do this, you're pretty much bound for failure because, well, I mentioned this. The phone is much more stimulating compared to the book. You're not gonna wanna read the book if there's a better option. Your brain's gonna go for that better option in the room. But if it's not in your immediate radius, you're gonna be far more likely to succeed in what you honestly wanna do. And another thing you wanna know, You want to make this kind of pre-sleep schedule sort of thing. The pre-sleep schedule should be like about an hour or maybe a little less than that before you go to sleep. And that block of time is just for you to read, to calm down, to get your mind off all those stimulating things that you've watched in the prior time. Block out that period of time to dedicate specifically to reading, and once it's that time to read, set yourself up for success. Create an environment where you will want to read rather than go scroll. So that's how you get better sleep and just feel better. So get to reading and give me a kiss.